Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Hope everyone's good. You can actually see my lovely face today. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but that is something. Morning, Chayek. Got a nice little uptrend this morning. Looking pretty decent. Let's try to get some channels on this thing. Looks like we already have a break and new high of this channel. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a correction. So far, not much. We have this mini little downtrend and then another push above the EMA. So if we stay above the EMA, that's when we'll need to figure out maybe a wider channel or something. Similar deal on the Nasdaq. Looks like we actually haven't got the new high there yet. So yeah, break right here. Still waiting to get the new high. We do have a higher low after a second entry. Might actually be a decent trade here. I might jump in on this. Hey, Matthew. I think I'll try a limit order here, guys. We got a failed second entry short and a second entry long, higher low. And go for about 30 ticks here. ES already made its new high. That's kind of the only thing that's not great about this. Hey, Randolph. Matthew, my time off was great. Yeah, if anyone needs the encouragement to take some time off the markets, definitely do it. It's super good to take time off. I was with some family and friends, my hometown in Oregon. It was wonderful. Starting to get an upward push here. And you'll notice I am trading micros on the Nasdaq. Just since I'm trading two tickers, wanting to do it slowly, not put too much on my plate, and the NQ is quite leveraged, so we'll get there. Eventually we'll be trading minis on both. Yeah, I do see that range, Matthew, for sure. I'm in this area right here. However, I think the primary pattern was this uptrend, zooming out. So yeah, I think we'll still get a new high here. Yeah, I'm not on ES. This is the Nasdaq. So similar kind of setup happened on ES, but it already had reached its new high, so not gonna risk that. About 10 minutes to the open. Hoping this trade works out here before the open comes. I can get a little screwy. Again, from the high, we have a pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry, and then this is our higher low confirmation that we went above. And then from the downside, first entry short, second entry short visually, and then a failure. This uptrend working as a break, expecting a new high. Pretty decent setup. We definitely are kind of going sideways here a little bit. That's one thing to note, but plenty of room to that high. And then also the ES already hit its high, so that might present us some caution, but we're gonna go for it. The ES kind of stalling out here. That's a good question, Johnny. If you put two contracts OC order, do I know how to separate the two contracts? I don't. I always set up my ATMs to separate them automatically. That's what I would suggest if you're on NinjaTrader. Set up your ATM so it automatically separates different targets and stop losses if that's what you're wanting. If it doesn't, I think you can like right click them. No, I know how to merge them. I don't know how to separate them. 7 minutes to the open. I think this thing is just gonna stall until the open, unfortunately. Johnny, I wouldn't recommend the higher low on ES because ES has already made a new high. Right, you have this channel working up, break. Here's our new high. So it's a good time to hold off on longs. About 6 minutes from the open here. I'm considering maybe just scratching out of this since we're getting close to the open. I probably would, to be honest, if it was the mini contracts, because there'd be more on the line, risking the volatility of the open, but looks like we might get hit here anyway. Right in the sauce. That's right, Toad. I like that. Getting right in that sauce. Like the stream, by the way, this morning, if you haven't. If you're liking that, I am in the sauce early. Getting after it. Here we go. Come on, man. Just a few more ticks here. Get this thing before the open hits. There we go. So now we got a runner on. Again, just micros on the Nasdaq, so just a little bonus money. Good practice for when I go full NQ as well, which I'm sure most of you know, 10 times the value of the micro contracts, the minis. Contemplating whether I should take profit here at a new high or just let it ride. We do have the open. I'll probably just let it ride. You never know. This could be a runaway trend. I don't want to miss out on that. Hey, Daily Grind. Yes, I do use a trade copier. So yeah, I agree with Toad. Whatever we're at, $50, $60 across 10 or 20 accounts definitely changes things. So I would for sure recommend it if anyone is doing the funded account route. get several accounts, get a trade copier, and yeah, I mean, you can do some quick math if you look at these little profits and then multiply that by 20. And then imagine I was doing minis, right? It'd be 700 times 20. So it can get pretty crazy pretty fast. Matthew, I don't know why they are 10 times the value of, well, no, micros are, minis are 10 times the value of micros. Yeah, it's the other way around. Okay, so we're at a new high here. Kind of tempted to take profits with the open in 1 minute. But I would also be kicking myself if the open just shot us up another, 30 points here. Yeah, exactly, daily grind. That's kind of the idea. I gotta win this morning, guys. Let's see some more likes in the chat. We only have 4 people. Let's throw some hearts, throw some fire. Let's get pumped up. I know it's early, probably for some of you. It is for me. It's 6:30 in the morning, but let's get this day going. Let's get the vibe right. Here's the open. Probably gonna get stopped out on our runner here. Come on. There we go. Okay, stopped out on a runner, but that's all right. Yep. I mean, again, I was really thinking about taking profits up here when we made a new high, but you never know. The open could just shoot up and continue rallying, and I didn't want to miss out on that. So, worth the risk for me. Over on the ES. Looks like we made one more new little high here. And now we're pushing down. So we've been expecting a bigger correction. Let's see if we can get it here. All right, so let's draw this range. Someone was mentioning about it. Definitely can visually see some sort of range here. And of course, look at this. This is how efficient the market is. Nasdaq stopped us out, now continuing higher. Usually it's just by 1 tick, right? Or like exactly on the tick. Hey, Steven. Yep, you guys get to deal with my beautiful face this morning. Don't say I never did anything for you. If we keep pushing up, we might need to look at a secondary channel. So we had a new high, expecting a push below the EMA. That has not happened. Morning, Steve. 2 Steves. That looks pretty good right there. Let's see what that might look like on the Nasdaq. Sometimes that can kind of give us clues as to how to draw it. Just kind of weird looking. Yeah, I don't know. So far this looks pretty good. You do have to ignore this little break here. Maybe if you go like this, I don't know, now all of a sudden that feels really steep. I don't know. I'm gonna reload my data too. I forgot to do that this morning. All right, I'm gonna try that, Steven. Thank you. We'll try from that first swing low. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna see if this all fits in one big channel. Yeah, the first verse, cool. Got that. We'll see. We'll see how this level reacts. If we blow past this, then we'll keep the big one. If we start turning down here, then we might look at that shallower one. On the NAS, that fits pretty nicely. I think we'll have to do that there. This also could have a secondary channel here, something like this, a little bit shallower. But we'll see. The ES turning down right off of that shallow channel, so we might have to stick with that one. Interesting action here. Kind of strange. Here we go. Maybe starting to push above that. Maybe, let's see. Turning off it again, so may have to. I'm just gonna copy the bigger one, but it looks like this secondary channel is what we're looking at here. EMA still holding. We need either a larger correction here, or just a rocket ship up. This is kind of a weird no trade zone at the high, possibly at the top of the channel. EMA is holding prices, so we're definitely bullish, but things aren't super strong. We're just kind of stalling out here. The Nasdaq continuing to grind higher. It looks really good in that channel. And looks much stronger than the ES as well. So if we get a nice little second entry long, I might have to take that on the Nasdaq. So far at a nice $34 on the day. But as a few folks mentioned, if you use a trade copier and you're doing Apex accounts, that's, you know, over, what would that be? Like $700. So yeah, that's definitely why a trade copier makes a lot of sense. I just took one easy no stress trade on the on a micro contract of the Nasdaq with 20 accounts. That's $700. So if you're needing, if you had questions about why would you do a trade copier, there you go. And a good time for sure, since Apex is still doing that 80% off sale. Getting a bunch of accounts is very affordable at the moment. I think that's going on for just a couple more days before they do another sale next time. But yeah, anyway, my code's down in the description if you're wanting to pursue that. While we are waiting for a pullback, testing the EMA here. So this would be our second entry long here. I don't really like the area of the chart. Oh good, it's not forming a good bar. If that would have been a green bar, that would have been from the top a pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry long. But you just don't want to take a long at the top of this channel like that. Things are so slow. The market's just kind of stalling out. We really want to see a larger bearish correction that plays out and then resume bullishness, something like that. This weird, really kind of congested area up here is not helpful. Hey Megan, heard from several folks that it can be finicky, the trade copier. You know, I've said this before, but I haven't really had any problems with it. Usually it works completely well. The only issues really that seem to happen sometimes is if you are trading like mini contracts and you copy it to a micro, which you can do. So basically, you know, I can take all my trades on a mini account for one and then copy it to like 19 other micros if I wanted. When you're doing those cross orders, sometimes things get a little bit funky just because the charts are different. So you'll get filled on some accounts and not on the others. That's really the only thing that ever happens to me, at least in my experience. But what I do is I have my positions window always open, and it's super easy just to close out of anything if something funky happens. But I have never personally lost any significant amount of money because of the trade copier. I'm kind of aware of it. Like if I enter a position, I'm ready to close out of something else if I need to, and sometimes I do, but it's usually, again, like it hasn't ever caused me any significant losses. So I would say 95% of the time everything works super smooth, and when it doesn't, if you're ready for it, then it's no big deal. Hope that answers your question. Ooh, this is kind of a tempting bar right here. We have that second entry long. This is kind of like a double trap here for anyone who got long a little too early. But gosh, I just don't know at this area of the chart. I really don't want this to finish a nice bullish bar because it's going to be tempting. I'd rather not be tempted right now. Shayak, I use the Apex trade copier. Oh man, well that closed below the EMA, so we'll ignore that. I use the Apex trade copier. Replicanto apparently is the same thing, so either way, it's basically the same technology. And yeah, you can connect it to all your Apex accounts, even your personal NinjaTrader account as well. As what I do. So as I'm trading, you know, valuations and funded accounts, it's also copying trades to my personal account as well. Context wise, it's pretty good, but you know, expecting a larger correction. So yeah, that's why I would hold off on this. You're also making, you got a high here, lower high, lower high, lower high, consistent lower highs, low, lower low, lower low. So you have a little bit like a kind of a channel working down like that. Just came off the highs of the channel, expecting a larger pullback. So that's why I would hold off on this. Now, if we push above the EMA here and give a higher low, I'd consider that. But basically, it needs to prove itself to me here. Yeah, it's definitely a triple bottom. I see that, Johnny. 1, 2, 3. That looks good, but just context-wise, may not be the best time to enter a long. A little bit congested. Higher low would be better, exactly. A higher low will definitely prove like, okay, no, the uptrend is continuing. So that's what I'm waiting for. It looks like we're moving too high now, though. We also, on the Nasdaq, have kind of a similar deal going. A little range has formed. So I just got to be patient on that. All right, let's see if we can get our higher low here. It's moving down. It's giving us the opportunity for sure. There we go. Let's see how this bar forms. I want to see a tick or two lower and then a nice strong bullish bar, and I might take a chance on that. Could just push up to a new high here. Man, all the bars today have just felt so sluggish. Price is just crawling along. Yeah, Toad, I think this is pretty much summer trading right here. But there's been some good days this summer. Hasn't been terrible. but maybe the next couple months will be more like this. On the Nasdaq, we do have a little higher low. It's kind of floating in the middle of nowhere. Would have preferred it to happen right here on this bar, but that was bearish. So at this point, it is a failed second entry short, but it's so high up on the range. There we go. Well, no way to enter that. Alright, looks like we're having a failed breakout of the top of this range. Definitely not something you want to short with how bullish everything has been. But could kind of expect that to happen. So now we might get a larger bearish correction before we continue. Hey, Pepe Coco. Yeah, I took a little, what was it? A second entry long, higher low on the Nasdaq. I'll mark that trade. Or was that the sucker? Really close to the open. Back here somewhere. Yeah, it was right here. That was the one trade I took. It was on micros. That would have been minis. That would have been wonderful. We'll get there. Johnny, can you zoom out of your channel? Totally. Yeah, I mean, if you draw this wide channel, we'd be right at the bottom here. But I think the fact that it has respected this top so well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on that top, that makes me favor that, versus this one only has 1 touch at the top, this wider channel. So that's why I'm favoring this one. And again, just so you can see it, there it is, zoomed out. This swing, starting it, matching up with those. So I have 3 touches on the bottom, 4 touches on the top. Pretty confirmed. Nasdaq going down and actually breaking the channel right now. I'm interested in perhaps a first entry long, second entry long off the bottom of that range. We are below the EMA, but I don't know, considering that. Back on the ES, we're just pretty much right in the middle of this range, no trade zone. Macaroons, what is going on? Good morning. It's been a minute. Coming right up to the top of the range here. I'm glad you're staying busy, Macaroons. Welcome back. Who's the new guy? Good morning, Gary. Look at those touches on the top of the range there. Definitely confirming that level. 1, 2, 3 wicks right there. Just pretty much waiting for a correction here. It just seems like it's bound to come at this point. Nasdaq almost putting in a first entry short, second entry short, maybe failure above the EMA. That's also would be a higher low or a second entry long. Just don't like what the ES is doing right now. Yeah, that didn't set up anyway. If that would have formed above the EMA, I might have jumped in that one. Pretty tempting. Back to the ES. Coming to the bottom of the range. Price is getting whippy here. Do we have news right now? What's today? Thursday the 13th. No, looks like no news. Just some standard volatility, folks. Looking at the Nasdaq, we might have a little failed breakout opportunity here. This candle didn't set up right, kind of a doji. This one I wish it would tick lower and then finish bullish. Might get me tempted there. That sounds like a weather report, Toad. Chop all day with moments of punctuated volatility is the forecast for the summer. You might have a future there, my friend. Pretty decent little bullish bar here if it finishes right. No, pun not intended there, I wish. I wish. Was thinking about getting long there if the bar ended right. Didn't look very good. Headed back to the ES. This could be like a second entry long, but it's just like right in the middle of the range. Yeah, the Nasdaq is seeming a little bit better to trade today. A little bit better, cleaner movement. And the Nas dropping right now, so I would imagine it's about to take the ES with it. Alright, looks like we're going to be going down to test the bottom of this channel here. See how legit this thing is. No EMAs in sight though. This is really kind of in no man's land between this EMA and this EMA. Kind of interesting. Usually you see an EMA pretty close to the channel line. So far bouncing a little bit. Look at that, perfect bounce off the channel line. See if we can maybe get a higher low here. Might push up too high. Nice, Steven. I just didn't have the bar to do it. Not a good one for me. Couldn't really take that. But context-wise, that is perfect. You got this mini range. A breakout here. Oh, sorry. Don't have my pen on. Mini range right here. Breakout. The majority of breakouts will fail. Right off of the channel support. If you get a bullish bar there, trade that all day long. Over on the Nasdaq, we had a also nice little failed breakout down here. Good looking bullish channel up. So we could take a second entry long to a new high. Because again, we have this big channel. This is our break. We're expecting a new high to be formed. So looking for a setup there. Over on the ES, not quite as friendly for a setup. We're already testing the top of this range right here. So you don't want to go long right into that level. Yeah, Gary, I mean, that failed breakout looks pretty good in hindsight, but you don't know if you're going to get another wick below that, right? That could easily just trigger right here, wick below, and then do exactly what you want it to do. It worked here, but yeah, if you take that trade every time, you're going to have some losers. You want to wait for a nice bullish bar down here, because this can keep dropping. You don't really know when it's going to bounce back up. Yeah, so now we're back in the middle of this range. Not looking great for a trade just quite yet. Over on the Nasdaq, looking a little bit better. We have the break of our channel. Again, looking for a first entry, second entry long. It's got to stay above the EMA though. We're kind of pushing below here, so don't want to see that. You want to see us hold the EMA. This could set up on both charts, but this is also really sideways. Coming down to the bottom of the channel. Interesting to note on the Nasdaq, losing steam, it looks like we had this high here, lower high, same here, low, lower low. If we make one more lower low, forget about it. We gotta abandon all bullish hope at that point. Might even have, this is pretty wide, but definitely a bearish bias going on there. Weren't able to make it. Sorry, I didn't even have my draw tool on. So these are the highs I'm talking about that are lower each time. The lows lower each time, maybe even right here. Never filled in any of this channel, or sorry, the range right here. So starting to look quite a bit more bearish on the Nasdaq. ES, not as bearish, but with a bounce off this channel here, we would expect to come into this area, and we didn't. We just hit the top of this range, triple top, and went back down. That is a nice bullish bar off the channel, off the bottom of the range. But yeah, given the fact that Nasdaq is super bearish, not super bearish, but it has a bearish bias, we didn't get into this. I would not trust this right here. Not going to trust this when we haven't filled in any of that channel. Steven, I use Epic Pen for my annotation. Works pretty well. That sounds, I think I got this one. Oh, pretty. Okay. You didn't say it. You didn't say epic, man. Or heckin' epic. Ah, there you go. All right, my man. Hey, thank you, Steven. I appreciate that. This looks like it might be our second entry long setting up. From here, first entry, boom. This could be the second entry, right off the channel support. If we do that and then push up and get a higher low, I would consider taking that. What do we do about this bar if it finishes bullish? We are below the EMA. Kind of hard to take that even if it forms right here. It would be a second entry long. But man, doesn't look great. The Temptress bar, trademark Steven, 2023. I hate those, man. You're like, you're like, I don't want the setup to form here because I'm gonna be tempted by it. We might be able to move the range a little bit lower. And this is kind of coming right off the bottom of it. The Nasdaq still has that bearish bias. The Nasdaq for sure would be a hold. It's a big bar. It looks like it's dragging the ES down with it, so definitely gonna sit on my hands here. This is where we might be in for a bigger correction. Guarantee you had people just buying that support, not waiting for a proper setup, just, you know, buying every time we touched here, and they're about to get flushed out. This would have been an interesting bar to take after that failed breakout. Nice bullish bar. Plenty of room to the EMA. I could see taking that. Scares me a little bit with this potential bearish channel. I wonder if we have, this might be a little measured move here. Not quite. Pretty close though. Well, now that we're pushing back into the range, this was a really nice looking failed breakout. Again, I couldn't personally take it. Yeah, just not super sure for me. Looks great in hindsight, but yeah, like Gary said, I'm looking for a failed second entry short now. So that was really the chance for the bears to get something going, and now we're back to the EMA, back into the range. If we get a nice first entry short, pull back, second entry short, we'll look to take that to a new high. This is the first break of our channel right here. So now we are expecting a new high to be formed, so we are looking for an opportunity to go long. See if we get that. There's the first entry short. It's actually might even be a really good higher low there. I think I'm gonna wait for that second entry though. Boy, that didn't go well for those higher low takers. And on the Nasdaq, continuing to have bearish bias. We may even have a wider channel like this. This channel is looking pretty good right here. We can come down, touch the bottom, and then get a nice pullback. Might look for a second entry short to form right around there. I've had plenty of chances to make a new high. First break here, 1 attempt, 2 attempt, 3, 4 attempts. That may not be happening, so we might get a chance on the short side. Seeing if we can find something similar to that. It's much too wide. So this still looks like a pretty healthy range for the most part, except for this area right here that hasn't been tested. See if we can get past this bearish bias right here. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low. Need to see some progress back up into this area, or the market might turn over here. Is Joe short for Josephus? Yeah, we'll definitely go with Josephus. Well, if you enjoy watching grass grow, today's market is definitely for you. This action has been riveting, to say the least. On the NAS, we did make it to the bottom of the channel, so let's see if we can get a nice pullback first entry, pullback second entry short. The EMA needs to hold. It's got to look good, but leaning that way here. This little bearish channel I got is definitely just in case. Not confirmed by any means. Got my little micro channel line there on the Nasdaq. See if that can get a break in a new high before we get our second entry short. Back on the ES, strong push back into the range. Gonna probably delete that guy. Bulls are certainly not giving up here anywhere. Might consider a higher low. We had equal lows here at the bottom, so we're not able to get that lower low and continue the bearishness. Push up into the range, back above the EMA. If we get a higher low here, I might consider that. Joe is short for Trader Joe. There you go, Aaron. You know what's up. Unfortunately, this whole area just kind of looks like its own range. Double bottom, almost double top. Back on the NAS, looking pretty strong. My short idea is slowly going away. We have a push above the EMA here. Maybe, yeah, there we go. If we can push below, get a second entry short right around here somewhere. With the EMA holding, that would be great. The Nasdaq has the first entry short. Right there. As you can see, that bar went lower than the previous bar. There's our first entry short. I want to see a push down here, and then the second entry to occur right around this point. On the ES, we're actually looking for a long, so not a great sign that we're looking for a short on one index and a long on the other. But we'll see which one wins out. This second entry short is happening above the EMA now, so not a good sign. We would need a push below and then a lower high confirmation. Doesn't look like that's happening. ES looking really strong, pushed all the way to the top of the range. Now we're at 4 tops here. 1, 2, 3, quadruple top. Guarantee there's going to be some sellers right here. I would kind of expect them to just get decimated and have a really big like breakout bar here, taking out all those stop orders. Okay, the NAS had the second entry. First entry, boom. Second entry. EMA is holding, that's not good. But if we come below, give a lower high, I'm going to be all about it. Over here, coming off the top of the range and just immediate drop. You see those sellers coming in around this quadruple top. I'm going to switch over to the Nasdaq. Seems like that is a more likely setup right now. Tested to the top of the channel perfectly. See if we can get that lower high. This would have been the great bar for it to happen right here if this would have ticked higher and then finished below the EMA. See if this can come up, tick higher, and then reverse down. Okay, it looks like it's coming up a little too high. Okay, so now that we have a new high here, we're going to need to see a failed second entry long up and below the EMA. So game plans change there. Need to see a failed second entry long if we're going to get short. But this thing might just be on a tear. So we're going to be done with that one for a little bit. Back to the ES. Struggling to go anywhere. Had this nice channel here. Had us a break. Looking for a new high, but price is kind of struggling. Have our first entry. Maybe a second entry long, but it's just kind of in the middle of the range, so not the best. But I think I'll have to take it. Nasdaq starting to look strong. We are still expecting the new high here, but it looks like it might move up without any setup. We can move down right here, lure in some bears, get that second entry short. That would be helpful to our cause. That would be basically from this low here, a pullback, first entry short, pullback, second entry short, luring in those bears, and then reversing bullish. This bar's looking hopeful. Might get a tick lower on the next one. Come on, baby. Let's tick lower on this. That'd be two nice visual legs too. Pull back. First entry, pull back. Second entry. Let's get this thing. Come on. If it doesn't tick below and just moves up, not going to take this. This really does need to have the second entry short to lure in more of those bears. That will make the trade more powerful because it's getting some stop losses in the market. It can eat up orders as we push higher. There we go. Double bottom, not quite a new and not quite a tick lower yet. The Nasdaq pushing higher. Two indexes fighting each other right now. Man, did not give us the tick lower. Nasdaq ripping up. So I can't take it. I need to wait for a tick lower here. Nasdaq pulling back. This might give us our chance. No dice. Bummer. I was really hoping that would set up. It was a great context for it. Again, wider channel. First break, we're expecting a new high, so we're just looking for an opportunity to get long here. And that was a great opportunity we had, and move up, pull back first entry. Waiting for, oh man, if that bar had just ticked one tick lower and then turned, that would have been excellent. Looks like we may have moved too high at this point. Moving way too low now. Too bearish of a bar. Over on the Nas, we have what looks like two measured legs, and now we're turning down. This is the break of this down channel, which looks pretty legit. So might be expecting a new low here. If we can get a failed second entry long, I'd take that. So technically be our second entry long right here. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry. Don't like going long after this big bearish bar. Plus this is starting to get pretty big, the signal bar. The Nasdaq EMA holding widened this channel a little bit, as this was really the chance for us to push below the EMA, but then immediately rejected, confirming this trend line. So if we, this is our first entry right here. If we pull back and get one more entry, that could be a good trade. I'm going to keep it up here for a sec. I think this is our better opportunity at the moment. ES looking like it might just, the bottom might fall out of this sucker. That would have been a really tempting bar if it finished green. Second entry long, right at the range support. We are below the EMA, but still expecting a new high. Maybe, hopefully. On the NAS, no pullback here. We're hoping for that second entry, but it looks like it might just go up to a new high with the first entry. If we get a good bar here, I will likely take it. Nasdaq pulling back, we actually might get that second entry long where we were wanting it. Pull back first entry, pull back. We could get that second entry right at the EMA. Be a nice looking setup. It's got to go lower than that though. I don't want to take it where it's just barely touching. Doesn't go well usually. On the ES, waiting for a tick below and a good bar. Never ticked below. So this is basically just an inside bar here. Not going to take that. Feels like one of those moments where it's just going to rocket up without all of us. On the NQ, we did have that second entry long here. It's exactly what we were expecting. However, it just didn't come down far enough. You don't want to take second entries where it's just barely touching the EMA like that. Oftentimes you'll get one more pullback and it'll really go from there. So can't really take that trade, though it looks really good context wise. Bars didn't set up properly. Back on the ES, we have our pullback first entry, pullback second entry. Can't take off an inside bar, but maybe we can get a double trap. This comes down, traps out some of those longs, and then finishes bullish again. Or maybe just a higher low. We'll see. Okay, if we get a tick lower here and then a bullish finish, I'm going to take it. Got to get down in here. It's got to tick below, draw in some bears, and then reverse. Will the setup occur, guys? Will this happen? It's kind of the last chance for me to take a trade on the stream here. So, cross your fingers. Shoot some hearts in the chat or something. Send some good vibes. Maybe we can get this. I think this is one of the hardest parts of trading for me, is seeing, you know, the perfect context for a setup. You know what you want to see, and just hoping that the market gives you what you want to see. Gosh, it didn't even tick lower there. This is going to be too high if it moves up here. Yeah, bummer. All that needed to do is tick lower for us. All that needed to do is tick lower right here, and we would have jumped in. Oh well. Looks like it's going to push to a new high without us. Yeah, no setup now. Same on the Nas. Already pushed up to a new high here. The second entry long was what we were hoping for. Set up a little bit too high. Would have worked out, but you gotta trade it right. Toad, always rocking those medium probabilities. Right on. Oh, the failed second entry short. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, it's been good. Glad to be back. Glad the camera's working. We didn't have any technical difficulties, computer meltdowns, anything like that. So that has been solid. Got one little trade on the Nasdaq right here. Trading micros would have been some nice P&L on a minis. We'll get there eventually. Right now, just doing micros on the Nas. And yep, you guys know what the deal is. So see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Trade safe, everyone.